Hey, how's it going? Glad that you're here. Appreciate you. According to the World Health Organization, 264 million people suffer from an anxiety disorder. And I want to talk about the 5 most common symptoms of an anxiety disorder right now. One common symptom, perhaps the most common symptoms of an anxiety disorder, when you have anxiety, you get a lot of stuff going on in your heart. It's rapid heartbeats, palpitations in your heart. So many people who have this rapid heartbeat, they feel like it's coming, sometimes beating out of their chest, and then they confuse it with, I might be having a heart attack. The second most common anxiety symptom is obsessive thinking. You can't get thoughts out of your head. It goes around and around and around. And I've talked about this before on some of my other videos, but obsessive thinking is a sign of an anxiety disorder. And if you can't get something out of your mind, now just because you have obsessive thinking at times doesn't mean you have an anxiety disorder, but I'm talking about all the time. You can't get these thoughts out of your head. And if you just feel like you have repetition in your thoughts, it's a cycle that goes around and around and you can't get it out of your head, that might be a symptom of anxiety. So it's the intensity and the length and duration of these thoughts that could lead to anxiety, and that anxiety then causes so many other physical symptoms, like the rapid heartbeat that I talked about. The third most common symptom of an anxiety disorder is the feelings of intense embarrassment. It's not that something happened and you got embarrassed, it's what you think is going to happen and you're going to feel embarrassed. So if you go into public and you're always thinking about, man, I can't do something because if I do, I'm going to make a fool of myself and then I'm going to embarrass myself. And that thought of embarrassment keeps you from doing things. So that is definitely a common symptom of an anxiety disorder. If you feel like you're going to be embarrassed, if you just, maybe not even feel like it, but you just believe you're going to embarrass yourself, and then therefore you don't do something, you don't go somewhere because of that possible embarrassment. You think that people are watching you, that you think that they are waiting for you to screw up, and that's the thought that turns into obsessive thinking that keeps you from doing something that you want to do. And that is a good sign that you might have an anxiety disorder. The fourth most common symptom, the fear of failure. That somehow that you're a failure at everything that you do. You make a mistake and it's all your fault, and that means that there's something wrong with you and you can't get that failure thought out of your head, and that is another sign that you might have an anxiety disorder. So that's the fourth most common symptom to look for, is, do you have fear of failure? And I'm talking about a major fear of failure. Not every once in a while you make a mistake and you think, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But what I'm talking about is your identity becomes affected because of your fear of failure. Your fear of failure turns into, I'm a failure. And that's a sign of an anxiety disorder. So the fifth and final symptom of an anxiety disorder is sleep problems. Can you get to sleep? Is it your repetitious thoughts that's keeping you up? Is it your fear of failure that's keeping you awake? Is it your rapid heartbeat? So there are so many things that are wrapped up into an anxiety disorder, and I just wanted to talk about 5 of the most common symptoms of an anxiety disorder. So whether it's your feelings of being a failure, or fear of embarrassment, your rapid heartbeat, just the repetitious thoughts, that negative thought cycle that's in your head. And according to the World Health Organization, or WHO, 264 million people suffer from an anxiety disorder. So you're definitely not alone. I understand that you may not want to talk to a therapist. I get that. But at the very least, I want you to be thinking about what are some things that you can do. Don't give up. I appreciate you so much. I want you to keep going. I want you to not give up. And then I want you to tell me what are some things that you're doing to help you to work on you for some self-care.